18 years old, Ayla Osterloth was legally an adult, but still young enough that her age would shape what happened next. She was facing 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, yet she spoke as calmly as if she were ordering coffee. "Did you pull the trigger?" "No." She doesn't know the detectives already have surveillance placing her vehicle in Loveland, directly contradicting the story she is about to tell. August 9th, 2023. A Wednesday night just before 10 o'clock, North Cleveland Avenue in Loveland, Colorado, a road near a Safeway, on a stretch of road quiet enough that most nights nothing happens there at all. 3 men were outside, not walking, not causing trouble. Just resting for the night the way people without a roof over their heads have to. Then a car rolled by, and it didn't just roll by, it slowed down, and someone inside opened fire. One man, 47, took a bullet to the leg, rushed to the hospital, treated, released. He survived only because the bullet missed anything immediately fatal. Beside him, on the same stretch of pavement, a 34-year-old walked away without a scratch. A third person, nearby in a parking lot, was shot at too. 3 people were targeted. Not one shot fired in a moment of panic. This looked deliberate. The car didn't stop, it just kept driving. Here's the problem with shooting someone in a town with cameras on every corner. You leave a trail whether you mean to or not. Loveland police pulled surveillance footage from around the scene and started working backward, camera by camera, frame by frame, until one vehicle kept surfacing in the right place at the right time. A red SUV. Distinctive temporary plates. Easy to miss once. Impossible to miss twice. One camera alone might have shown nothing more than a red vehicle passing through town. But investigators were not relying on one camera. Each recording supplied another piece of the route, where the SUV had come from, where it went next, and how close it had been to the shooting when the gunfire began. The temporary plates made the vehicle even more distinctive. As detectives aligned the timestamps, an ordinary drive through Loveland began to look less like coincidence and more like a documented trail. Whoever had been inside that SUV could deny stopping in Loveland. The cameras could show otherwise. By the next day, investigators had identified the vehicle and traced it to its owners. And that name didn't lead them across town. It led them 800 miles away, to Bozeman, Montana. 2 people were connected to that vehicle, Aaron Lambertus, 27, and his fiancée, Ayla Osterloth, 18. Neither of them had any known connection to Loveland. They had no reason to be there, and no reason to open fire on people they didn't even know. 2 days after the shooting, Loveland detectives boarded a plane. With help from the Bozeman Police Department and the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office, they took both Lambertus and Osterloth into custody. Without incident, without a struggle, before either suspect knew how much evidence investigators had gathered. They were caught 800 miles from the crime scene, but as soon as Ayla sat down in that interrogation room, she started talking like she'd never left Colorado. While Ayla was constructing that timeline, Aaron was being questioned separately. That separation mattered. The 2 suspects could no longer adjust their stories together or explain away inconsistencies before detectives noticed them. Inside the interview room, Ayla starts talking before she's even really been asked to. She and Aaron had been on a road trip, she says, national parks, family visits. She rattles off a full itinerary without much prompting. Cousins in Thornton, an aunt in Highlands Ranch, her grandmother in Denver, a night camping near Estes Park. Dates, relatives, meals, all delivered smoothly, almost like she's reciting something she rehearsed on the drive over. There's just one detail she keeps circling around without landing on, whether they ever actually drove through Loveland. "We passed near it," she says, "but we didn't go in." The detective doesn't push back. Not yet. He just keeps asking questions. "What kind of car were you in?" she tells him without hesitating. "A red Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport, bought together, still waiting on permanent plates." She describes the grille, the roofline, the roof rack, enough detail to describe a car to someone who's never seen it. Except he has seen it. That's exactly why she's sitting in that chair. Every detail she offers to sound cooperative is a detail that ties her tighter to the vehicle that was caught on camera in Loveland the night of the shooting. She isn't hiding the car, she's confirming it belongs to her, in detail, on the record. Then the conversation shifts, casually, almost like small talk, to guns. She says she's not really a gun person. Then she rattles off the inventory: an FN 509, a bolt rifle, a .22, an AR-15, even a non-working antique from 1904. She knows the calibers. She knows which one he keeps loaded and where. For someone who claims she doesn't know guns, she just proved she knows this arsenal by heart, including a 9mm pistol, the same caliber investigators associated with the shooting. She knows the calibers. She knows which one he keeps loaded and where. For someone who claims she doesn't know guns, she just proved she knows this arsenal by heart, including a 9mm pistol, the same caliber investigators associated with the shooting. Next, the detective asks about drugs and alcohol. She says they were sober the entire trip. Then, unprompted, she mentions using several weeks earlier, completely unrelated to the shooting. She'll admit to recreational drug use. She won't admit to being in Loveland. If her account is accurate, intoxication could not account for what she remembered or what she denied. Then the detective stops circling. He tells her, plainly, that he has surveillance footage. Her car driving through downtown Loveland on the exact night she swears they never stopped there. Not a guess, not a theory, footage. "I know you were in the car," he tells her, "and I know he was too. I'm just trying to figure out who was driving." For the first time, her rehearsed timeline has nowhere left to go. He lays it out for her without raising his voice. People sleeping outside had been shot at from a car matching hers, in a location she just spent 20 minutes insisting she never visited. He isn't accusing her of planning it out of nowhere. He even offers her an out, asking if something happened first, if they were threatened, if there's a reason. He's not just building a case, he's giving her a chance to explain. She doesn't take it. "I don't know." "You don't know what?" "I don't know anything." 4 words, repeated, again and again, no matter how the question is asked. She claimed Aaron had also said he didn't know why the shooting happened. It's not a defense. It's not a denial. It's nothing at all. And in an interrogation room, nothing is its own kind of answer. Her language has changed. Earlier, she supplied names, dates, destinations, vehicle details, and firearm calibers, without hesitation. Now, when the questions reach the shooting itself, that precision disappears. The detailed storyteller becomes someone who claims to know nothing. The contrast does not prove who fired the weapon, but it exposes the boundary of the story she is willing to tell. The detective asks one more thing. When she was arrested, was there a gun in her purse? She says yes. What caliber? The same one used in the shooting. A 9mm, kept there, she says, just in case anything happened to her. That's when she finally asks for a lawyer. The detective places her under arrest for attempted first-degree murder, tells her she'll be processed, held without bond, and extradited back to Colorado to face a judge. She asks if the men are okay. He tells her yes, nobody died. The case moved through Colorado's courts over the following year. Aaron Lambertus, who prosecutors say fired the weapon, pleaded guilty to attempted first-degree murder with a crime of violence enhancement and was sentenced to 20 years in prison plus 5 years of parole. Prosecutors described Ayla Osterloth as the driver. Lambertus was accused of firing the weapon. She pleaded guilty in June 2024 to attempted second-degree murder. That September, she was sentenced to 4 years in Colorado's youth offender system, with an 8-year suspended sentence hanging over her if she doesn't complete the program. There was no clear motive at all. Not robbery, not a prior dispute. The case records and interrogation footage never produced a clear explanation for why the victims were targeted. An 18-year-old walked into that interview room believing a detailed story would make her sound innocent. Instead, every detail she volunteered became another claim investigators could test. The route, the relatives, the red Volkswagen, the temporary plates, the firearms, and the loaded 9mm in her purse. The surveillance footage did not need a confession. It had already placed her vehicle at the scene.